Good day, students and viewers. Today, we will be learning more about swords. In our previous video, I introduced to you sword as a number, as a real number, and also that swords are irrational numbers. And I also told you that a major character of a sword is that it is non-recurring and non-terminating. And I gave you examples of swords. I also talked about types of swords and then rules involving sword operations. Having learned those rules, I'm sure you've gone through it, you've gone through your notes. Today, we will use many of those sword rules in sword operations, like addition, subtraction, division, and rationalization. Happy viewing. So the first operation of swords we want to learn today is addition and subtraction of swords. So on the board are two problems regarding swords which we have to simplify using addition and subtraction. And we've learned the rules of swords, so we should be acquainted with some of these things. So for the A part of this problem, we have root 32 plus 2 root 50 minus 3 root 18. This is rule 3 of swords. We have square root of 32. Remember that 32 is not a perfect square. What are perfect squares? Perfect squares are numbers that have whole number roots. Those are perfect squares. When you square root it, when you cube root it, you end up having a whole number. And of course, those numbers are not rational. I explained that in our previous video. So for this number 32, we're going to implement rule 3 of swords. To do this, we need to look at this number 32, look at all its factors. So potentially factors of 32, we have 2, we have 4, we have 8, we have 16, and of course 32 itself. Now, when you get these factors out, since we are learning, I'm doing all this, but as you master it, it will be in your head. So look at all these factors of 32. Go for the largest, the biggest perfect square amongst them. I told you earlier what a perfect square is. So if looking at this, the two perfect squares here are 4 and 16. But like I said, go for the biggest one, the largest of them, and that is 16. So this 32 can be rewritten as 16 times 2, which is 32, going by rule 3 of swords. Okay, so plus 2, the same thing also, factors of 20, of 50, factors of 50, I'm looking at 2, 5, 10, 2, 5, 10, 25, and 50 itself. The biggest of them that is a perfect square is 25. So for this, I'll be doing this 25 times 2 minus 3, 18. For 18, I'm looking at 2, 3, 6, 9, and of course 18 itself. The biggest of them that is a perfect square is 9. So this will be square root of 9 times 2. All this observing rule 3 of swords. So here we go. Break this down like we did in our previous class. This would be square root of 16 times square root of 2. I think you should put them in brackets. Plus 2 bracket square root of 25 times square root of 2 minus 3 bracket square root of 9 times square root of 2. Square root of 16 is 4. So 4 root 2, that is here, plus, there was a 2 here, though my bracket almost covered it. It's not, there's a 2 there. So plus 2 bracket, square root of 25 is 5 root 2 minus 3. Square root of 9 is 3 root 2. These are mixed sorts, mind you. So open that bracket. I have 4 root 2 plus 10 root 2 minus 9 root 2. As you can see, they are similar sorts. They are like sorts. And being like sorts, they can add and subtract. So here we go. 4 root 2 plus 10 root 2 is 14 root 2. 14 root 2 minus 9 root 2 is 5 root 2. So 14 root 2 minus 9 root 2 is 5 root 2. That's for the first one. Let's look at the second one, the B part, which we are simplifying. This is 2 root 2 plus 25 bracket 3 over root 2 minus 25 bracket 4 over root 8. For the root 8, it's not a perfect square, so I'm going to break it down. So I have 2 root 2 plus 25, 3 over root 2, and close, minus, this will be 25 bracket 4 over 2 root 2. I had 2 root 2 because square root of 8 is 2 root 2. You can do that also here if you are not convinced. Its factors are 2, 4, and 8 itself. The biggest factor being 4, that is a perfect square. So this would amount to 4 times square root of 4 times 2, which is 2 root 2. I did that here, so I would assume that you would have seen the trick how I did it, and we should be used to it by now. I'm not done yet. 2 cancels 4, which is 2 times. So I end up having 2 root 2 plus 25 bracket 3 over root 2 close minus 25 bracket 2 over root 2 and then close. I'll open up the brackets. So I have 2 root 2 plus 75 over root 2 minus 50 over root 2. So it shares a common LCM. So our LCM being root 2. So, and this is over 1, mind you. So 1 into root 2 is root 2. Then root 2 times 2 root 2. Let's do our rough somewhere. This is 2 root 2 times root 2. So root 2 times root 2 is 2. Then times 2 is 4. I'll take it again. Root 2 times root 2 is 2. Root 2 times root 2. This will be square root of 2 times 2. We've done this before. This is square root of 4. Square root of 4 is what? 2. So root 2 times root 2 is 2 times 2 is 4. So we have a 4 here. Also, root 2 into root 2 is a 1. Then times 75 is plus 75. Root 2 into root 2 is 1 times minus 50 is minus 50. So what we have here will be 75 minus 50 is 25 plus 4 is 29 over root 2. We cannot keep our answer like this. We have to rationalize. Though I've not reached this stage yet, but I will talk about rationalization. So I'm going to have to rationalize because I can't leave this answer like this. So to rationalize, this will be 29 over root 2 times root 2 over root 2. Technically, this looks as though I'm multiplying by 1 because the root 2 over root 2 can cancel. When it cancels itself, it is 1. So technically, I'm multiplying 29 by root 2 by 1. Yes. So this would be 29 root 2 over 2. This is our final answer. Later in this video, I will talk about rationalization because it's an aspect of one of the operations I will talk about. So do pardon me for going ahead of myself here. Let's look at another type of sort operation, and that is multiplication of sorts. So for multiplication of sorts, we're going to simplify these three exercises. So here we go. For the first one, A, root 10 times 3 root 2 times 5 root 8. Look at the 8, we can break this down. 8 root 8 is 2 root 2. I explained that earlier, which is 4 times 2, right? Square root of 4 is 2, so 2 root 2. So this will be root 10 times 3 root 2 times 5 bracket 2 root 2. Let's do this. Close, open that bracket. We have root 10 times 3 root 2 times 10 root 2. Let's start from the right hand side. As far as sorts are concerned, you multiply the numbers and then you multiply the sorts separately. So 3 times 10 is 30. Of course, this will be root 10 times 2 times 2. This gives 30 root 10 times root 4. This is familiar, I'm sure. So this will be 30 times 2 from here, root 10. Square root of 4 is 2. So 30 times 2 root 10. And this is 60 root 10 as your final answer. Let's look at the B part. We have root 24 times root 48. Let's break down factors of 24. That will be 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and of course 24 itself. The biggest perfect square definitely is 4. So find a number that will multiply this. That will be 4 times 6 under square root times 48, a similar thing. Still, these numbers still go. This will be 16. 16 is here also in this particular one. So there's 16. So that will be 16 times 16 and then 24 for 48. 16 goes because 16 times 3 is 48. Okay, so that will be 16 times 3 to get your 48. And going by this, square root, this is square root of 4 times square root of 6, of course, times square root of 16 times square root of 3. So this is 2 root 6 times 4 root 3. This will be 8. For this 2 times 4 is 8 root 18 from 6 times 3. And 18, we did that earlier. So 18 was 9 times 2. So this is giving us 8 root 9 times 2. Pardon my space here. So this is going to be 8 root 9 times root 2. This is 8 bracket 3. The square root of 9 is 3. Of course, root 2. And this is 24 root 2. So for the last example on multiplication of sorts, using the rules of sorts, for these ones, all of them are sort of numbers that cannot be broken down. So we just multiply the sorts. So this is going to be square root of 6 times 5 times 2. We end up having square root of 60. For its factors, I'm looking at 15 times 4, which is 60. So this will be 4 times 15, square root of 4 times square root of 15. Final answer is 2 root 15. So that is for the last part. My dear students and viewers, I trust you've been thoroughly enlightened watching this video on addition, subtraction, and multiplications involving sorts. Do watch out for our next video, where we will delve deeper into sorting operations. Until then, keep watching the videos of MathsX, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. As you do so, you will learn a lot. God bless you.